Oh, hi. Um, Hi, I'm Doak. I am the host of this YouTube show that I call House Left. It's a series of dialogues with people in and around Lansing who do theater and who, during this time of the COVID pandemic, are not able to do theater the way that we normally do. And I did it because I wanted to create an opportunity for the community theater, um, the theater community in our area to talk and share ideas and primarily probably share feelings and thoughts that they're having about theater right now, its importance in their lives and everyone's life. And I think it's gone pretty well. You know, my skills as a trying to do the technical side of video and audio editing has not been very good, and so that's some of the episodes have been kind of clunky that way. But what the hell? It's homemade, you know. It's what it is. And so I just wanted, we already did an episode this week on election night. It was recorded the night before the election with Lee Helder and Mary Jobe, Rose Jangmi Cooper, Connor Kelly, Jeffrey Wilson. Wonderful talk. I hope you'll look at it if you hadn't already. Um, Speculating about what, actually the prompt was what would a history play about this moment look like, whether it's written tomorrow or 20 years ago? What would be the essence of the dramatic structure, and who would be in it, and what would you call it? That kind of stuff. It was fun and it was meaningful. And as always, I was grateful to have my smart friends to come talk with me and each other about these things. So I just wanted to take this brief intermission. This is not a dialogue. This is a monologue. I'm just going to talk about, the just the idea. See, idea. No, there. Yeah, yeah. I'm having an idea um, of the series, and also some underlying things that maybe might not be so obvious about why I'm doing it. Um, Obviously, to connect the community was the main thing, but also my life, my career has been based on facilitation, the art of facilitation, and constructing questions that are meaningful and help people come to some kind of deeper and collective understanding of what's going on in particular time. Sometimes I do them, to help a group make a decision that they have to make. Sometimes it's just to gather, what is the consensus of the group, or not consensus, that's a bad word, but what is the what are the thoughts swirling around in or around a certain question or decision that a group has to make. Did a lot of the work in the last few years around social justice, a workshop that we developed at Ingham County on health equity and social justice, 20 people, 4 days together talking about constructs that help us get a handle on uh, oppression, privilege, racism, target groups, non-target groups. I'm writing and thinking a lot about that right now. And so House Left is a part of that experiment for me. Obviously, I'm not trying to solve any great questions or get any great decisions out of a group of 5 people that are randomly brought together. I'm trying to create something like what we do when we bring a cast of people together for a play. You know some of them, you don't know some of them, and hopefully somewhere in the green room or after in the bar after a rehearsal or a performance, you have a chance to get to know that person, and just the discovery of that expanding circle of people that you get to know in a theater community. Um, I want that to be present in these conversations. Um, and that brings me to just noticing how we do facilitate dialogue, um, and that it's not a random thing. It is very um, disciplined, actually, and it has practices and guidelines and things that help it happen. And theater, I always have thought needs to be a spark for dialogue in the community. That's what it really should do. People should come prepared to be nourished by ideas, challenged by ideas. Um, um, their mind should expand in some way, or at least if they're challenged, perhaps even recognize why they're challenged and what the boundaries are for them. And the primary mode that we've had in our community, as in I suspect a lot of theater communities, is the talkback. Everybody, well, not everybody, but most people hate talkbacks. That's true of the actors. That's true of the audience members. Both, the casual audience member and the one who really comes with an intention of listening and talking about theater. Talkbacks don't do it. And the reason talkbacks don't do it is because they are just done so badly. I mean, they're wrong the way they are normally practiced. This is the normal thing. You finish the play, you say to people, if you'd like to stay around a little bit and talk to the cast, that'd be fun. Please do that. They'll be out here in a minute. Some people drift away. Some people linger hesitantly, wondering, do I want to do this? Some people firmly sit down and say, yes, I want to talk. And then we bring the actors out, and then we ask this question. So, what did you think? What are your thoughts and any questions for the actors? What do you want to say? And it's just so open and unevocative that usually the early comments are things like, that was really wonderful. Thank you for doing that. Or, how did you memorize all those lines? Or, I don't know. It's just nothing. Nothing happens. And there's a horrible, it becomes a thing of interviewing the cast, and that is exactly the opposite of what a conversation, a dialogue about a play should be. It shouldn't be the audience interviewing the cast. It should be the cast interviewing the audience, or the director interviewing the audience. And that means forming questions for the audience that engage them in ways that are not expected, and engage them in a certain order. Without going into detail about this, the order is what you saw and heard, trying to get from the audience through questions. What did you see and hear tonight? What stands out for you from what you saw and heard? Secondly, what feelings were evoked, either by that thing that stood out for you, or what feelings, what emotions came to you while you were watching this play, especially those that were like quite big or surprising emotions. The third level of questioning is, so those things you saw and heard and those things you felt, what's the lesson from that? What's the meaning? What do you take away from your having that reaction to the play? And finally, encapsulating that with a question about how would you summarize your experience tonight? Or what are you taking away ultimately from this event and this dialogue we're having? Shouldn't go more than 15 minutes ever. And it should be directed by someone, a facilitator, who is asking those questions and making sure we stay on the track of those questions, not wander around with people complimenting things and people explaining things. And this so funny incident that happened back in the hallway during the show tonight. That's what needs to happen. And I'm sure there are different ways to get that. You don't have to do it right after the play. You could do it afterward in a separate thing. You could do a Zoom conversation with people by inviting them if they wanted to participate and talk about the play. But if we're going to really use theater for dialogue as a community and as a learning bunch of people, then something like that needs to be applied. And that's kind of what I wanted to say. So I do these series, and I'll keep doing them for a while, I'm pretty sure, to connect the community and get us into some interesting talk. But I also do them to demonstrate dialogue and how it can work and how we can apply it in our own lives, in our own discussions of art or politics or anything. I'm taping this on the day I'm going to actually put it on YouTube. It's November 8th, I think. Yesterday, President Biden was declared the winner of the election. I know we all have responses to that: joy, peace, relief, and fortunately, we've been blessed here in Lansing with incredible weather for about the entire span of the election day till now. So it's been nice to get out. I hung out with some neighbors on the corner of my block who were gathering people together just to have a little celebration, and it was fantastic. Loved it. So we're trying to be that. I'm trying to do that, and I look forward to upcoming conversations I want to have. Just a few to let you know. One I really want to do is involving devout Christians who participate in theater and how they handle their faith, in an environment that is often very, very secular and sometimes demeaning of Christian values. I'm not a Christian, I'm an atheist, but I'm really interested in what that experience is like, because I think often, even though they are not seen as a target group, generally speaking, because Christians have a lot of privileges in our society over other religions. Holidays are all Christian, the holidays off are Christian, and just a lot of indicators like that. So I want to have that conversation. I want to have one with booze. I want to do a show about booze and theater, drinking, not B-O-O-S, but B-O-O-Z-E. I drank a lot, during my theater career. I have been sober for a year and a half now. And I'm just really interested because I found it, extremely helpful to drink at the same time as I know it prevented me from going places I needed to go as an actor. And I just love to talk to people about the good and the bad of that with no judgment at all intended. The next generation's an episode I want to do. Get some of our wonderful actors who are in their 30s or so and raising families, have their children, if they're old enough to have a conversation, on Zoom, to talk with me and with each other about theater and what they think theater is, and if they want to do it now or later or whatever. I think that would be a fun show. I'm forgetting something. Always I'm trying to get diverse groups together via various categories, probably primarily age. I want old and young in each dialogue. I want male and female in each dialogue. I want, I pay attention to and trying to gather some diversity across race and ethnicity, and musicals, plays, those kinds of things. But I also will do a few, I think, that are actually one group represented. There's a show a conversation I want to have with African American women, which is one that I will have to step out of myself because I'm not an African American woman, but I have, I think the perspective of that particular group of people is really important and interesting right now, and would like to try that out. I'm having trouble sometimes getting people, like the Christian one. I sent out a feeler and didn't get very many people. to respond. Actually, the only one that did respond was someone to say, no, I'm not a Christian. But I know you're out there, and I think your voice and your feelings about how it is to be Christian doing theater in Lansing or anywhere is really important, and I'd like to talk about it. So I hope maybe if some of these ideas I'm throwing out, you want to be part of it. I can't promise I'll put you on the panel, but if you are interested, I would be interested in knowing that. You can contact me on my Facebook page. Obviously, if you're not a friend of mine, you can attempt to friend me and I will respond, I promise. Just Doak, Bloss, Lansing, Michigan. I don't think you'll come up with any other people if you look on Facebook for that. You can also email me at DOAKBLISS, Doak Bliss, one word, at gmail.com. That's another way to get in touch with me. And I think that's it, other than to say, as a tease, I'm also going to do during the holidays, because I don't want to have anything terribly serious during the holidays. I'm going to do a couple weeks of episodes that are a theater trivia tournament. And I will be inviting people to be part of that whom I believe are strong in trivia or strong in theater or both. Some people who I just think will be fun to have in the tournament. And it's going to be, well, I'm looking for 25 people to participate, and there'll be prelimination rounds and semifinal round and final round. And I'm also going to offer a prize, actually, to the winner of that. It will be a donation of $250 to the theater of your choice in the Lansing area, in your name. So any perks that come along with that, with the theater, you would also get that. So that's what's on the horizon. Just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you on my own, say stuff without the awful interruption of all these people I invite to talk. I love the people who come to be a part of my panel. I really have come to love you all even more as you participated in this little experiment with me. So that's all. And have a good night. Watch an episode sometime if you got nothing to do and want to just talk about theater or hear people talk about theater. With that, I'm going to say adieu, 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 adieu. Bye.